everybody, welcome to Balance Builders class. A special hello to everyone at Amavita. For our class today, you'll only need two things. You'll need a sturdy chair and you also need a book. The size of the book is up to you. We'll be using it for some different exercises, so if you want to grab a couple different size books that you have at home and have them nearby your chair, we'll use them later on in class. So we all know as we age, balance is something that we start to lose. Some studies say as young as 30, we start to see a decline in our balance. We know that our balance feeds off of our sensory system, so our vision, our vestibular, the receptors on the bottoms of our feet. So today we're going to work on some exercises to help maintain strength and help to fight that balance loss. So I'm proud of you for being here today, and let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up. So we're going to stand up, and you could also do this warm-up seated, but just a nice little palm tree. So we're going to wake up the body head to toe, quick stretch before we dive in to our exercises. And now relax those arms down by the side, go into your hugs, loosening up through the shoulders, alternating right over left and left over right. And now let's do a little overhead reach. So relax the arms down, climbing the rope, stretching one arm at a time, reaching overhead. Nice stretch through the side body. And bring that to stillness. Now, one of my favorite balance exercises that you can do, we'll incorporate into this warm-up, is called Rock the Boat. So I'm standing with my shoulders over top of my hips, belly buttons in towards the spine. I have a nice soft bend in my knees. And I'm just going to lean side to side as if I was on a boat that is rocking. And once I feel comfortable with that, if I still feel stable to challenge myself, I can slowly lift up 1 foot at a time. So I can lift up and then slowly lift up. Now, if you've been with me before, you know I like to say slow is strong. So the more slowly we do this exercise, the more stability and strength it's requiring versus just using momentum to swing through. Good. And the higher you lift the foot up, the harder it is. So one more time each side. This is called Rock the Boat. This is something you can do on your own at home just to keep working and improving that balance. Now let's do a little march, lifting those knees up as high as you can. So when we're marching, we're requiring our body to balance because we're standing briefly on 1 foot. The higher you bring that knee up, the harder it is. So you work wherever you're comfortable. You can have a nice low lift for your march, or you can keep the feet in contact with the ground if you're feeling a little unstable today. Let's do 3 more on each side, and 2, and last 1. Good. Bring that march to stillness. Let's take a deep breath in, sweep up, stretch overhead, exhale, relax the arms down. Okay, so for our first set, it's going to be a combination of sitting and standing exercises. So you want to find that chair, take a seat, and we're going to work our sit to stand. So what you can expect for today's workout is we're going to do 6 different sets of exercises together, and typically they are paired up. Some are seated, some are standing, and we'll throw in one where we're walking as well. So right now we're starting set 1 with our first exercise is a sit to stand. We're going to do 10 of them. So your options for sit to stand, kind of a level 1 if you need a little extra help, is if you have armrests on your chair, you can use those armrests to help lift you up out of the chair. Level 2 would be to place the hands on the lap for a little extra push up out of that chair. And level 3, so the hardest, the most challenging way to do that sit to stand is to not use anything for support, but to just use all that leg strength to stand up and then slowly controlled sit back down. So we want that movement to be controlled, both when we're standing and then when we're lowering down. So don't throw yourself into it. So here we go, 10 sit to stands going at your own pace. So we're pressing up for 1, bringing it back down. So right now I'm demonstrating the hardest level, so I'm not using anything for support. Okay, I'm kind of my middle of the road, level 2. I can push off those thighs. Now notice how I'm trying to control or go the same speed in both directions. And if I need a little more assistance, use those arm rests to help push up out of that chair. Good. If you need a break, take it. Maybe 10 is too much. That's okay. Work wherever is right for you. Okay, it's not a competition. Let's do 2 more. Good. And here's our last one. Great work. Now we're going to remain standing, and you're going to need to turn your chair around. You want to use it for some support. So I'm going to use the back of the chair for support, standing as tall as I can, shoulders over top of hips, belly button in, and it's going to be a hamstring curl. So I'm going to start off with one leg, bending at the knee, bringing the heel up as high as I can, and then relaxing back down. So notice that I'm trying to keep my hip and my knee in alignment. So my knee's not up here, it's pressed back where it's underneath that hip. So I'm actually going to work a little bit of glute and hamstring up the back of the leg. We're doing 10 of these. Here's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Relax down, shake it out. And now let's switch to the other leg. So I'm going to spin my chair around so you can see me. You don't have to change your chair around though. And so standing tall, reset that posture, shoulders over top of hips, belly button in, and let's curl up. Good. Watch that knee. It is staying right underneath that hip. Don't let it come forward. Keep it pressed back. Good. So we're working hamstring and some glutes there. Here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful. Okay, let's turn that chair back around. We're going to take a seat again. So now from that seated position, we're going to work some leg extensions. So sitting tall, shoulders over hips, core engaged. We're going to lift one leg at a time, hinging at the knee, a leg extension, lift and lower. Now try to not touch the ground in between each one. So my toes are barely brushing the ground here. I should feel it right here on the top of the leg in the quadricep area. But if you need to lower down and take a break and rest in between each leg extension, please do that. So keeping that knee mobility, strengthening the quad on top. 2 more, going for 10 on each side. And now let's hold this last one up. And I want you to go straight into foot pumps, pointing and flexing. So we're engaging the front of the leg, the shin area, you should feel it, as well as the calf. So we want to keep those ankles strong. We don't want any foot flop, our foot flopping when we walk. That can cause our toes to get caught up and cause a fall. And now let's relax that leg down, give it a break, and let's switch to the other side. So leg extensions, lift and lower, lift, lower. Up to you if you're allowing that foot to rest on the ground in between each one, or if you want to keep it just slightly pulled up. So we're engaging that quadricep. Here's 4 more. 3, 2, hold up that last one, going straight into those foot pumps, keeping that ankle strong, mobile, engaging up the back of the leg through the calf, the front of the leg with that shin. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, relax down. If you need to stomp out those legs a little bit, get them to relax. So for your next exercise, we're going to incorporate a little bit of movement. So we're going to do a tandem walk. So you're going to bring yourself up to standing position.
And for our tandem walk, we're going to place one foot directly in front of the other. So tandem foot is as though I was walking on a tightrope. Now, if I have one foot directly in front of the other, heel to toe, that is the most difficult way to do a tandem walk. So if I feel too unstable, don't do it that way. Go ahead and bring the feet a little bit wider. A wider stance will give you a wider base. But our goal is to try to walk as though we were on a tightrope or a balance beam. So I want you to try to take 10 steps in that tandem walk. So one foot in front of the other, walking heel to toe. You decide how wide or how narrow your steps are going to be. So heel to toe. I want you to take 10 steps, nice and stable, standing tall. Good. And this is something you can do, you can practice in your apartment, in your house, in your yard. If you feel a little wobbly, make sure you always do it with something stable nearby, like a countertop. You can also make the exercise more challenging by doing it on an unstable surface like grass or gravel, something that's not as firm. Beautiful. All right, after you finish those 10 tandem steps, I want you to work on some side steps. So shoulders over top of hips, belly button in, soft knees. And we're gonna just step to the side 5 times in each direction. I'm gonna have to keep my steps smaller so I can stay in your view, but you can do 5 steps in each direction. Now we get really used to always just walking forward, but this can be beneficial for our agility to add some side movement. So doing those side steps, at least 5 side steps in each direction. So 5 times to the right and 5 times to the left. Good, at your own pace as always. Now let's keep it standing. For this one, you may want to be close to a wall or something that has some support, so the back of a chair or a countertop. So our next exercise is called 4 corners. So for 4 corners, I'm standing just kind of neutral feet, parallel position, soft knees. I have my supportive surface here. I'm using a back of a chair. And I'm going to take one foot and tap to the front. So it's as though I'm tapping 4 corners, maybe on a box. So if I tap to the front, I tap to the side, I tap directly behind my body, and then I have to bring that leg the whole way across and tap on the other side, okay? And then we bring it back to starting. We're gonna do that 3 times on each leg. So here we go, 4 corners. Tap front, tap side, tap back, and across. Back to center. Tap front, tap side, tap back, bring it across. Center, one more. Front, side, back, across. Good. To center. Now we're gonna switch up the support leg and moving leg. So here we go, transitioning to the other side. Tap front, tap side, tap back, and sweep it across to center. Tap front, tap side, tap back, sweep it across to center. One more. Tap front, tap side, tap back, sweep it across and to center. Wonderful. That is a great one to practice at home too, or sometimes if I'm standing in line at the grocery store, I can just do those 4 corner toe taps. Always work your balance just as part of your daily life. You know, it doesn't have to be a big thing that you set 30 minutes aside for every day, but when you have opportunities to throw in some of these exercises as part of your everyday activities, go for it. Can't hurt. So our next one, while we're standing, we're going to do some heel and toe raises. So going back to keeping that lower half of the leg strong, the shin, the calves, the ankles. So I have that supportive surface here. I'm using the back of my chair, standing tall, shoulders over hips, belly button in. And let's bring the heels up off the ground, come back down, and now lift the toes up. When you lift your toes up, it doesn't have to be super high. It can just be the toes almost lifting up just inside of the shoe if you have shoes on. So just enough that you feel the front of the shins activating. So I don't want you to feel unstable during this. We're going to do 10 total. So heels and toes for 1, and heels and toes for 2, heels and toes for 3, heels and toes for 4, heels, toes, 5, heels, toes, 6, heels, toes, 7, heels, toes, 8, heels, toes, 9, one more, heels, and toes. Okay, let's take a minute to do a nice stretch up the back of the leg. So using my chair or my stool or my countertop, whatever I'm using today, I want you to reach the arms out in front, take a nice flat back, and just fold forward, hinging at the hips. So you should feel a nice stretch up the back of the leg into the low back, and just holding there, breathing in and out. Relax into that stretch. Remember, we want to hold our stretches. Bare minimum is 10 seconds. If we can hold them 30 seconds or longer, that's even better. Gives our body time to settle in and actually allow those muscles to relax. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Now very slowly come back up to standing. If you come up too quick, you might make yourself a little bit dizzy. So nice and slow, coming back up to standing. Okay, I'm going to bring my chair back around because our next set is going to be seated. And I'm also going to need that book. So go ahead and grab your book. I brought my dictionary today. So we're going to use your book, and we're going to do some alternating toe taps from a seated position. So couple options here. If you just want to keep it nice and simple today, lay the book so that it's flat, kind of on its longest side there. And we're just going to tap, alternating toe taps. If that seems a little bit too easy, you want more of a challenge today, you can go ahead and have that book stand up on end so it's higher, so then I'm requiring my hip to lift up. Pull those legs up a little bit higher. So once you have your book in its position, we're going to do 10 toe taps for each leg. Ready? Here we go. There's 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3, 3, 4, 4. Try to not kick your book over. And 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Excellent. Okay, so we're alternating toe tap with the book. Now we're not done with this book yet. We're going to incorporate the book into our sit to stands. So my book can stay standing on end, or I can even lay it flat on the ground. That's going to require me to bend down a little bit further, so you know what's right for your body. So I'm going to bend down, pick up that book off the ground. I'm going to bring that book back up to my lap. Now here's where you have two options. You can either take the book, press it straight overhead, you stay seated, and bring it right back down to the lap, and then put it back down on the ground. Or option 2 is, as I lift that book overhead, I'm going to also stand up out of my chair and then bring it back down and sit down and put it on the ground. So you have two options here. You can stay seated, or you can lift that book up and do a sit to stand. All right, here we go. Our goal is to do 10 of these, but you go at your own pace. And if you get tired, take a break. So here we go. Pick up the book. Bring the book up to the lap. Now here you decide. Are you pressing the book straight up and staying seated? Or are you going to press that book up and stand up? There's 1. Good. Bring it right back down to the lap and down to the ground. Sit back up. 1. There we go. Pick it up. Sit it up. Press it up. Stand up if you're feeling that. Bring it back down to the lap, to the ground. Reset. That's 2. Pick up. Sit up. Press it up. Good. Bring it down to the lap, to the ground. Reset. Take a breath. 3. Pick it up. Sit it up. Press it up. Bring it down to the lap, to the ground. 4, you're doing great. Remember, if you need a break, you take it. Going at your own pace. I'm gonna stand up for this one. Press it up, bring it down, whole way to the ground. Okay, we're halfway, that's 5. Here we are. Pick it up, sit it up, stand it up, bring it down the whole way to the ground. 6, good. Pick it up, lift it up, press it up, bring it down to the ground. 3 more. Lift, stretch, and down. Good. 2 more. Here we go. Lift, press. I'm going up this time. Down. Okay, here we are. Let's do this last one. And back down to the ground. Good work. Okay, now our last set that we're going to work on is going to kind of do our balance check, or I like to call it a balance scan, to see where you should be working in between your classes or your exercises. So the first one, we're just going to stand up. So standing as tall as I can, my feet are about hip distance apart, I'm nice and relaxed, and I'm just going to stand eyes open 10 seconds, okay? While you're standing here for our 10 seconds, I want you to do a body scan, okay? Think, all right, do I feel wobbly? Do I feel pretty solid? If I'm feeling pretty solid, now at the end of our 10 seconds, to increase the challenge, we're gonna close our eyes, because remember, our vision contributes to our balance. So we're gonna take one of those tools away by closing the eyes. So now I'm relying a lot on my vestibular and a lot on those receptors on the bottoms of the feet. So we're gonna really be training those. So now let's close the eyes, standing, breathing, balancing, 10 seconds. How do I feel? Body scan, do I feel like I'm swaying? Make sure I've got that solid surface next to me, the back of the chair, the countertop. I've got 3, 2, 1. Good, gently open the eyes. Now, if that felt pretty easy, you felt solid even with the eyes closed, our next level is going to be to stand in that tandem or tightrope foot position. So for this one, I definitely want you to make sure you have a back of a chair, you're standing by your countertop, you've got something that is not gonna slide or move on you. It's nice and stable. So for our tandem foot position, this is level 2 in this balance sequence. Okay, we've passed the parallel feet, eyes open, eyes closed. That's level 1. Level 2 now, tandem feet. One foot directly in front of the other. Standing as tall as I can. All right, once I feel stable, go ahead and float that hand up off of that surface, that stable surface, your countertop, your chair. And see, okay, how do I feel? I personally feel my ankles working, trying to keep me nice and solid. I'm sure you can probably see that too. Good, breathing in and out, 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now go ahead and place the hand back on the back of the chair, the countertop, whatever you're using. And I want you to close your eyes, okay? So we're taking away the vision. And now, try that same stance, feet are in that same position. All I changed was I closed my eyes. Now, this doesn't have to be all or nothing. I can kind of lift up so I just have one finger maybe touching the chair for stability. Good, breathing in and out. If I feel solid, I can lift that hand up for 3, 2, 1. Good. Float those eyes back open. Shake out the legs a little bit. Now I want you to reverse the foot position. So if you had your right foot in front of your left, this time I want you to put your left foot in front of your right. Okay, so still tandem foot position, but we're changing which foot is in front. Most of us feel the difference. We tend to have tend to be stronger on one side of the body than another. It could be because we've had a hip replacement or a knee replacement, or one side of the body just is stronger than the other. So we want to try to always work to even out any of those imbalances. So switching that foot position, Eyes are open, tandem feet. If you are comfortable with it, you can take your hand off of that solid surface, and it's 10 seconds. Balancing. Good. 8, breathing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Place the hand back on the chair. Challenge time. Close the eyes. Take away the vision. Breathing in and out. Good. 10 seconds here. If you feel stable enough, you can go to just 1 or 2 fingers on that stable surface. If you're feeling really solid, you can float that hand up off of that stable surface. Breathing. 4, 3, 2, 1. Open those eyes. Okay. So now, for most of us, at some point in that tandem series, we felt a little bit unstable. For me personally, I started to feel unstable as soon as I had to close my eyes. Now, whether it was my right foot in front of my left or my left in front of my right, as soon as I took the vision away, I felt a little bit wobbly. So that's where I'm going to concentrate my efforts this week, okay? I'm going to work on closing my eyes in tandem foot position and trying to build that balance. Now, this is a great one too. I was talking about incorporating it into your daily life. When you're standing at the sink, you're rinsing your dishes, you're brushing your teeth, make yourself stand in that tandem foot stance. Standing behind your grocery cart, tandem foot stance, okay? So work that in your everyday living activities. Okay, level 3, our hardest one is called the stork stance. So you 100% want something stable nearby, your countertop, your chair. Stork stance, you're standing on 1 foot, okay? So we're standing on 1 foot, balancing. Good. See if we can go 10 seconds. If you need to keep a hand on the chair, do that. If you need to keep that 1 foot a little bit closer to the ground because you feel more secure that way, do that. So we're also working a lot of strength in the leg, holding all of our weight onto 1 foot. Got 4 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now, you know, to make this harder, we could close the eyes, but we're not going to do that today. So I want you to go ahead and switch to the other leg now. See if one side is stronger than the other. Remember, we're doing a little scan. We're trying to figure out where we are at. So we're in that stork stance, holding on to that supportive surface. If I want to, I can float my hand up if I feel strong enough, stable enough. Good. Breathing in and out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it down. Now, with any of those exercises we just did kind of in that balance scan series, whether it's standing on 2 feet, eyes open, eyes closed, tandem or tightrope feet, eyes open, eyes closed, or the stork stance on 1 foot, you can make it more difficult by standing on an unstable surface, by doing it just out in the grass or on a gravel surface. That right there is also another way you can increase the intensity of that exercise or that challenge. All right, well, you've made it to the end, so let's do our nice deep breath. You've earned it. Nice deep breath in, sweep up. And exhale, press down. 2 more. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, press down. All right, last one. Big inhale, fill those lungs, sweeping, stretching up overhead. Exhale, press down, bring those arms around, wrap them around the back. Oh, a nice stretch. Double pats on the back. Good hug. Excellent work today. Proud of you for being here and working on that balance. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.